I'm here with Ed Hessel, the manager of Mopar Performance Parts, and next to me is a pretty badass looking car, and on the other side is a pretty badass looking engine. So Ed, can you tell us a little bit about, let's start with the engine, and then tell us a little bit about the car as well.
Sure. So what we have here is our 426 supercharged crate Hemi, part of our series of crate Hemi engines that we offer from Mopar. So we started a few years back with the 345, 392 engines, and then we upped the game once with the Hellcat engine, and we call it the Hell Crate. We thought about how do we top ourselves and make sure we stay above our competition. Let's go for that magic 4-digit number, and we went for 1,000 horsepower. So that's what we've achieved with this engine here.
Wow, phenomenal. So it's being a crate engine, so anybody can just pick this up and put it into their project car as well, right?
It's designated for pre-1976 vehicles without catalytic converters. It's typically run with headers. But yeah, it's a turnkey, plug and play, easy to go, runs on pump gas. So a lot of these engines that make all this power use race fuel. We wanted to make it really simple to get gas for your car that you put it in. So it runs on 93 octane.
It's really incredible. What are some of the key performance upgrades that you used on this on the engine to achieve this incredible number? Is it the supercharger primarily, or what are some of the main things? Since you're the technical guy, give me some technical details.
Sure. Well, it's been an evolution. So we started with our Hemi engines, and you've seen that over the past couple of years. We've had the Hellcat cars, and then last year we had the Demon, and now we've got the Red Eye, right? So what we've done is taken the production pieces that made sense for us and stuff that may have been in development down in the production side that never came to light. We've kind of adapted it and put it into this engine. So we've grown the supercharger from a 2.7 liter to a 3 liter. So they've improved efficiency inside there. We have a new aluminum block instead of using a cast iron block. And that block is a derivative of what we've been developing with our NHRA stock program. So that's a factory stock winning block that's underneath there as well. So that lightens up the load a little bit, and it gives us some machining options to tweak. We adopted the heads from the Red Eye and the Demon, and we use their valve train. We have a custom cam that our guys worked with a comp cam to develop, so we get the right amount of lift and lobe in there. And other than that, it uses a lot of the production parts that make it easy. So the Hellcat front end and FIAD, coils, fuel injectors. We have custom fuel injectors in there to deliver the fuel load. But the fueling system, we use the same module that you would find in one of the Demon road cars that can vary the amount of fuel pump on time it needs to keep it fed. So it's a hybrid of internal know-how and some of the parts we had to get from the outside. Like, we don't have an internal 426 rotating assembly, so pistons, rods, and crank. So we partner with some of our already partners on the OE side that do their aftermarket business to get the rotating assembly together. So it's probably like a 50-50 split of internal parts and external parts, but it's definitely got some high-tech stuff going on in it.
Fantastic. Well, speaking of the engine, can you tell us a little bit about where this engine has now been implanted into this wide body supercharger, as you call it? A little bit about this car.
Sure. Well, we showed this car at SEMA in 2018. This is the supercharger concept. And the guys in our design office decided that we need a great package to showcase this 4-digit engine horsepower, right? So they created this car to wrap around. Originally started out 68 Charger, was driving running car when we got it, and they basically stripped it down, created a full frame channel on both sides for it, put a beefed up rear end in it, independent suspension in the 4 corners so it handles somewhat. Obviously the wheels are huge, wide, right?
The tires are huge too.
Yeah, and that's why the fender flares are on there, to accommodate the wider tire. And they have the 6-piston Brembo brakes, so this thing will go and stop. It runs a Tremec 6-speed manual transmission, and that features our plug-and-play crate Hemi kit.
Fantastic. So any chance that this will make it into some production cars in the future? I mean, we have the Red Eye now, but or is it going to be more of a crate engine because it needs to, without a catalytic converter, it might not perform the same way?
Yeah, I mean, when you start applying emissions to the engines, it definitely, you got to squeeze down the horsepower numbers, right? Right now, for us, it's just kind of a feather in our cap. We wanted to say the Hemis are here as crate engines. They're a viable option, and we want people to go. So that's kind of our crown jewel right now.
And just a ballpark figure, how much would that cost as a crate engine?
We're still not announcing pricing. We still have to wait a few more weeks to get there.
All right, well, Ed, thank you so much for your wise wisdom. And the Elephant, the Hellephant, I think is a fantastic name for a very fantastic engine.